Rick, can you please share how your spiritual practice may include traveling to places where God's people are oppressed, seeing
Mm,
Jesus in the faces of the oppressed? So,
okay.
how do your travels relate to those kinds of situations?
Well, if you stay home, it's hard to really understand what struggles are going on south of the border. And if you travel south of the border with your window down, with your heart open, recognizing that Jesus cared about the poor and the downtrodden, he had a particular love for economic justice and so on. When you travel south of the border, you see huge faith. You see people who are poor beyond imagination, who live with a spirit of abundance. And then it becomes very striking how people who are wealthy beyond imagination live with a mindset of scarcity. It's a very jarring thing for me as a privileged white American who buys a cup of coffee every day at Starbucks that costs what the average person on this planet earns in one day's wages. I mean, half of humanity is trying to live on $5 a day. It's so honest and candid and brutal to recognize that wealthy people live with this mindset of scarcity, and people who are living day to day uh, in a very, very simple and basic lifestyle, they're living with this celebration, a celebration of abundance. And in a lot of ways, their faith is stronger than ours. And I'm inspired by that. So when I go to poor parts of the world, I don't have pity. I have a hunger for fellowship and to share and to learn and to inspire. And I want to go home with an empathy or a solidarity for the people that I've met. And I go home also, Tammy, with an understanding that as a Christian, I think it's totally in line with my faith to exercise my faith here, my values here, in a citizenship kind of way. And that means when I step into the privacy of a voting booth or when I'm going to vote, I know that who wins this election will probably impact people south of the border more than it will impact me. And as a Christian, I feel it is honest for me to vote for what is good for people who are struggling more than what's better for my bottom line. It almost seems like like a a crazy a thing to do, but I just think it is so honest and so right. And when I step into the voting booth, I'm careful to vote for what is right for people who are struggling, not what's right for me. And I don't think that's heroic. I think that's just honest as a Christian. And I think that people need permission to know that it's okay to look at things in terms of economic justice. I know we're sort of wired not to read the Bible through economic justice eyes because that's hard for privileged people. But south of the border, there's a lot of there's a lot of beautiful people with strong and passionate faiths, and they read the same Bible we do, and they interpret it through developing world eyes. And I think it's instructive for us to be mindful of that and to be honest about that. And I think that's a great little extra souvenir that I can take home is a passion for trying to understand my faith and our Bible through developing world eyes rather than through wealthy world eyes.